Friends, so recording has been started. Today's agenda is to discuss topic number 7, which is power. We are doing paper 1, section 1, and we'll quickly summarize everything in 1 hour. Let's start. Dashrath sir, please कर लीजिए.
Okay, sir. Power. The many parts of the theory of power will be intermingled with the theory of democracy as well. So let's not get confused. Okay. Power is the central concept of political science. What money is to economics, power is to politics. Means power is the basis. Politics is the management of power. The power is the core concept, yet it remains a contested, like other ideas. Power is a relational concept, denotes capacity to get things done by others. जोसेफ नाई ने पावर रिलेशन का पावर विथ एंड पावर ओवर का कंसेप्ट दिया था. स्टीवन ल्यूक्स क्लासिफाई करते हैं 3 फेसेज ऑफ पावर में, पावर के थ्योरीज को. फेस 1 में बोलते हैं पावर एज डिसीजन मेकिंग, मीन्स कि वो कि इंस्टीट्यूशंस, वी हैव टू स्टडी द इंस्टीट्यूशंस विच शेप्स पावर. इन सेकेंड बोलते हैं पावर एज एजेंडा सेटिंग. एग्जाम्पल, मार्क्सिस्ट बिलीव दैट इट इज द एजेंडा सेट बाय द इकोनॉमिकली डोमिनेंट क्लास. Third is power as thought control process, where we will study the idea of Gramsci's hegemony and Foucault's idea of discourses. Laswell tells political theory is the study of shaping and sharing of power. Yeah. And with respect to the conclusion, means thus there is a relationship. Okay. Power, authority, and legitimacy. There is a relationship among 3 facets of power. Continue to engage intellectuals even at प्रेजेंट टाइम्स. लिबरल्स, अच्छा उसको पढ़ूँ क्या, वो लेजिटिमेसी है बाद में आएगा. लिबरल्स में हॉब्स हैं जो बोलते हैं पावर लाइज विद द स्टेट. मार्क्स बोलते हैं पावर लाइज विद द इकोनॉमिकली डोमिनेंट क्लास, दैट इज बर्जुआ. इन लोग का इतना ही है. जो भी पावर के थ्योरी में मेन जो है ना, ये एलिट का ही है, एलिटिस्ट थ्योरी का. जैसे कि ना जस्टिस में जॉन रॉल्स है, उसके बाद कम्युनिटेरियन का मेन फोकस था, सोशल लिबरल का. तो ऐसे यहाँ भी है. तो सबका एक 2 लाइन हो गया, कहानी खत्म. एलिटिस्ट थ्योरी जो है
थोड़ा सा स्लो चलना, थोड़ा सा
और स्लो.
हाँ, मतलब थोड़ा स्लो चलना, क्योंकि बाकी लोग आई थिंक पढ़ के नहीं आएंगे आज. ये टॉपिक तो पहले बताया नहीं था ना.
हाँ ठीक
थोड़ा
है,
सा
तो
एक्सप्लेन करते हुए चलना थोड़ा सा.
नो इश्यू. ठीक है, तो हो गया. एलिटिस्ट मेन रूप से जो पावर के थ्योरी में और आंसर में जो रहेगा एलिटिस्ट थ्योरी रहेगा. और if we observe the keenly, then we will find that the elitist theory of power and elitist theory of democracy, which we shall study, are almost same. The one of the oldest theory of power is elitist theory is also the one of the oldest theory. It starts with the Aristotle itself. And elitists divide population into 2 parts, elites and masses. So that is the basic thing. And according to them, power lies with the elites, not with the masses. They also believe that power should lie with elites, and they also believe, means they describe as well and they prescribe as well. It means power lies with the elites and power should lie with the elite. So from Plato, power with the man of gold. We had observed the classification of souls: gold, silver, copper, iron, whatever, I forgot it. Aristotle says some are born to be masters and some are born to be slave. Machiavelli, prince has to be fox and lion. ये प्लेटो को जो मेटल्स के बेसिस पे कौन कौन से मेटल्स का नाम लिया था उन्होंने? पहला गोल्ड है,
सिल्वर और कॉपर.
ओके, थैंक यू. Now in modern theories, that was Plato, Aristotle and Machiavelli. एलिटिस्ट हैं लेकिन वो एंशिएंट मेडिएवल के हैं. मॉडर्न में हैं, अब देखेंगे, परेटो हैं, मोस्का हैं, मिशेल्स हैं, सिराइट मिल्स हैं, जो भी हैं. तो अर्लियर थ्योरी जो थे दे वर नॉर्मेटिव, दे मीन्स दे वर सजेस्टिंग व्हाट शुड बी. बट मॉडर्न थ्योरीज आर डिस्क्रिप्टिव, एम्पिरिकल एंड सजेस्ट दैट पावर लाइज विथ एलिट्स. Means they are describing the things by observing the things. Pareto in his book Mind and Society He tells that history of mankind is graveyard of aristocracies. It means historically power has been with elites. He has given the theory of circulation of elites. इधर से उधर लायंस एंड फॉक्सेस का एग्जाम्पल है. तो पावर एलिट्स में ही रहेगा, भले एक एलिट से दूसरे एलिट्स में जाए. तो दैट थ्योरी सजेस्ट दैट देयर इज नो ट्रिकल डाउन इफेक्ट ऑफ पावर. पावर सर्कुलेट्स इन द क्लोज लूप. क्लोज लूप कैसे है वो देखेंगे कि वो सिर्फ हैंड को शिफ्ट होता है, या तो लाइन में जाए, लाइन अपने से कुछ हैंडल नहीं कर पाएगा सब कुछ, तो फॉक्सेस को इनकॉर्पोरेट करेगा, फिर धीरे धीरे वो फॉक्सेस उसमें ओवर पावर कर जाएंगे. फिर फॉक्सेस भी अकेले कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे मैंने कुछ चीज़ों को, तो उनको लायंस को इनकॉर्पोरेट करना पड़ेगा. फिर लायंस को लाने के मान लीजिए कि कॉर्पोरेट है, फिर पॉलिटिकल एलिट है, रिलीजियस एलिट है. तो ईरान में रिलीजियस एलिट आगे बढ़े हुए हैं, तालिबान में, हमारे यहाँ पॉलिटिकल एलिट के पास पावर है, यूरोप में या तो कहीं जगह बहुत जगह न्यू लिबरल कंट्री में इकोनॉमिक एलिट्स के पास पावर है. तो लाइक थिंग्स, इसके पास उसके पास इसके पास, लेकिन वो मासेज में जाता नहीं पावर, ये लोग बोल रहे हैं. अकॉर्डिंग टू परेटो देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ एलिट्स. उन्होंने फॉक्सेज और लायंस का एग्जांपल दिया है. फिर उन्होंने बोला है कि बोलते हैं कि डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्रीज में पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आर द एलिट्स एंड पावर लाइज विद द लीडर्स ऑफ पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज. अब बाद में ये लोगों को काउंटर करेंगे ना, हन्ना अरेंट बोलेंगे कि पीपुल एक्टिंग इन कंसर्ट, लाइक जो आएगा देखेंगे. मोस्का बोलते हैं, इन हिज बुक है, उनका बुक का नाम है द रूलिंग क्लास. ही ऑल्सो डिवाइड्स द पॉपुलेशन इनटू एलिट्स एंड मासेज. तो एलिटिस्ट थ्योरीज तो मासेज में डिवाइड करेंगे तो ये भी करेंगे. ही ऑल्सो बिलीव दैट पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आर द न्यू एलिट्स. पहले थे ही नहीं पार्टी, तो वो आएगा कहाँ, तो नया है तो न्यू एलिट्स बनेंगे ही. रॉबर्ट मिशेल्स बोलते हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी नाम का बुक है, उसमें बोलते हैं आयरन लॉ ऑफ ओलिगार्की. जो ओलिगार्की है वो आयरन लॉ है, उसको तोड़ नहीं सकते, हटा नहीं सकते. He has analyzed the internal functioning of the liberal as well as socialist parties. He came to the conclusion that irrespective of ideology, power always lie with the small section of elite. तो हम USSR में भी देख सकते हैं और डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्रीज लाइक USA में भी देख सकते थे. इन इंडिया वी कैन ऑब्जर्व ऑल द थिंग्स. Hence they suggest that oligarchy is the iron law. तो ये कुछ उन्हीं की तरह है कि ये सबका क्रक्स ये आएगा कि वो एलिट से नीचे आएगा ही नहीं पावर. सी राइट मिल्स वो लिखते हैं कि उन्होंने डेमोक्रेसी इन USA का फंक्शनिंग स्टडी किया और वहाँ पर बोलते हैं कि पावर लाइज विद पावर एलिट. उन्होंने कंसेप्ट ही दे दिया पावर एलिट इन्वर्टेड कॉमा में, और बोलते हैं 3 सेक्शंस हैं जो इसमें कि फेडरल पॉलिटिशियंस हैं वहाँ के, स्टेट वाले नहीं लिखते. फेडरल पॉलिटिशियंस, टॉप मिलिट्री ऑफिशियल्स एंड बिग कॉर्पोरेट हाउसेज. तो ठीक है, फेडरल पॉलिटिशियंस है वो एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं, ऑर्डर देते हैं. टॉप मिलिट्री ऑफिशियल्स है वो उसको एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं, प्लानिंग बनाते हैं. बिग कॉर्पोरेट हाउसेज और टर्म्स को डिक्टेट करते हैं विथ एंगेजमेंट ऑन इंटरनेशनल लेवल ऑफ वार डिसीजंस लाइक थिंग्स. जो कि हम लोग बोले थे ना, जो नीना ट्रेडनेडवाल भी बोल रही थी कि वो एक ही बार हुआ है न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब, तो बोलते एक ही बार हुआ है, वो पावर एलिट एक बार है, जो भी है कॉर्पोरेट हाउसेज का डिसीजन था. अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम इवन द डिसीजन टू ड्रॉ न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब ऑन हिरोशिमा एंड नागासाकी वाज टेकन बाय पावर एलिट्स. ठीक है, तो वो बोलते हैं कि मासेज हैव लिमिटेड कंट्रोल ओवर इवन डिसीजन मेकिंग. दस द थ्योरी ऑफ पावर एलिट्स ओलिगार्की इज द आयरन लॉ. तो वो सी राइट मिल्स जो है रॉबर्ट मिशेल्स की तरफ फिर लाके ये भी बोल देते हैं कि ओलिगार्की इज द आयरन लॉ, लेकिन ओरिजिनल टर्म जो है मिशेल्स का है. इनिशियली पावर वेज एक्सरसाइज बाय लोकल पॉलिटिशियंस, पीपुल्स एसोसिएशन, स्टेट्स. हाउएवर सिविल वार जो USA में हुआ, इसके बाद क्या हुआ कि USA का वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स में और उसके बाद वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स में रोल बढ़ा और USA में सिविल वार हुआ. ये दोनों के कारण हुआ कि थोड़ा पावर एलिट का मतलब रोल बढ़ गया, क्योंकि वो डिसीजन लेने लगे. सिविल वार के बाद फेडरल पॉलिटिशियंस डिसीजन लेने लगे. वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स में इन्वॉल्वमेंट के बाद फेडरल पॉलिटिशियंस, मिलिट्री ऑफिशियल्स, कॉर्पोरेट हाउसेज का रोल बढ़ गया, तो नए पावर एलिट के रूप में जन्मे. वो बोलते हैं कि इन एवरी सोसाइटी देयर आर सम की इंस्टीट्यूशंस और पर्सन्स जो कि वो मतलब कि की पोजीशंस को, इंस्टीट्यूशंस को होल्ड करते हैं, एजेंडा सेट करते हैं, जो भी करते हैं. इंडिया में देखते हैं कि जैसे कि ऐसे तो लगता है कि हमारे डेमोक्रेटिकली इलेक्टेड इंस्टीट्यूशंस है वो भी हैं, प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स भी हैं. और दूसरा है कि लीडर्स ऑफ डिफरेंट कास्ट, एसोसिएशंस, रिलीजियस एसोसिएशंस आर आल्सो पावर एलिट्स, दे मैनेज. इन पाकिस्तान आर्मी इज कॉल्ड द डीप स्टेट. वो भी बोलते हैं कि एक जगह मैंने कि वहाँ बोलते हैं ना कि आर्मी हैज ए स्टेट, और इन चाइना बोलते हैं कि पार्टी हैज ए स्टेट, कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी हैज ए स्टेट. प्लुरलिस्ट थ्योरी ऑफ पावर में एक रॉबर्ट डेहल का नाम है.
Yashwant, I'd like to add some more, okay? In a holistic theory of power, in the recent time, there is a term called kleptocracy. That means it's an holistic theory of power. We can compare with holistic that these are people, I mean, the kleptocracy means the power lies within those limited number of people, a few peoples, and it may be a military industrial complex, it may be a deep state, whatever it may be, they are lies within a circle and the power is not distributed. Okay, we even you said that Russia is also kleptocracy under the Putin. I recently read an article from David Drummond in his article New York Times, watching the eclipse. He said that that why I share you those quotes. Okay, even though Putin didn't want to. He said that in our communism or even in the capitalist societies, the power is not that much distributed. They are circling within their lives. So they give the term kleptocracy. Okay, kleptocracy. And you also already said that deep state. Okay, if we know that if anyone have doubt, just Google it, what is deep state, because we don't have enough time to discuss with it. And in a capitalist society, the military industrial complex, the corporate houses, even the power, they know that how the power distributed and how they have to done whatever the things they like, even dropping the nuclear dirty bombs, whatever they places, because they know where to use the power.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one. Okay, the kleptocracy. This is the word.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And one more thing. Even there's a book called I don't remember the author. Why Some Nation Fails. Okay, they said that the power is always whatever the time and space. Okay, it's concentrated with few. If they have to do more, they have to designate the power. I mean, the state. That means the state with the inclusive power. It's a different topic. So whenever we need it, I will definitely discuss with you. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, moving to the next scholar, Robert Dehel, whose ideas of polyarchy and deformed polyarchy will be there. So Robert Dehel has actually challenged C. Wright Mill's view on democracy in America, where he had gone for power elite concepts. Actually, Robert Dahel's context is challenging the C. Wright Mills of power elites in America itself, USA itself. So he tells that it is wrong to suggest that people do not exercise power in USA. It is true that decision to throw atomic bomb was taken by elites, but that was not a regular decision. That was an aberration. That was unique situations. He told that power is not concentrated in the hands of few elites, but fairly distributed among various associations, interest groups, pressure groups, etc. So Robert Dehel suggests that USA is a polyarchy. So what is polyarchy? So he tells that since democracy is ideal, where polyarchy is practical. Polyarchy represents approximate democracy. It represents the maximum possible democracy in practical sense. If democracy is a government of all, polyarchy is where power lies with many. So practically, people as individual cannot exercise power, but when they become a part of association or interest group, they exercise sufficient power. So this is the case in USA. But he actually he is also called a neo-pluralist when he give the concept of deformed polyarchy. So he later modified his idea because of means challenges thrown at him. He tells that oligarchy in USA is tilted towards corporate class, little bit tilted. So thus in comparison to other groups, means corporate class maintains or influence a little bit more power in USA. Neo-pluralist arguments comes near to Marxist arguments, but it will not be Marxist. So what is the difference between Marxist and neo-pluralist? Because both says that power lies with a capitalist society. So Marxist tells that in capitalist societies, power lies with the corporate class, but neo-pluralist means it is tilted, not completely owned by the capitalist class. Okay. And Marxists give the concept of basic structure, superstructure, means one who control the economics base, extra base structure will control all the structures. So, but it is not so the case of neo-pluralist. They don't go for a structural analysis like those things. That's all about the elitist theory of power. Now 3-4 more is feminist, Gramsci, Hannah Arendt, and postmodernist, where again the theory of power will be analyzed in detail. तो फेमिनिस्ट डिस्क्राइब्स नेचर ऑफ सोसाइटी एज पेट्रियार्कल. तो जैसे मार्क्सिस्ट ऑलवेज फोकस ऑन इकोनॉमिक डिटर्मिनिज्म, फेमिनिस्ट ऑलवेज फोकस ऑन पेट्रियार्कल डिटर्मिनिज्म. Patriarchy gives preference to males, so even state is an institution of patriarchy. We can observe Catherine McKinnon, who told that if we see at the laws made by the state, so it seems to be male, state seems to be male. ठीक है. Feminists believe that personal is political. There is a power relation of dominance, violence within the family. Family is the first institution of patriarchy. Susan Moller-Rokin. Gramsci, so he gave the two idea, domination and hegemony, by going for integral state concept, manufacturing of consent. Hannah Arendt means power lies with people when they act in concert. Hannah Arendt's theory of power and Mahatma Gandhi's theory of power are constructive view of power. Mahatma Gandhi has also gone for the empowerment of the masses through oceanic circle, where people are, masses are at the center. So that is another thing. Now moving to the postmodernist. So from here the question also arises, in addition to elitist theory of power, postmodernists we shall study mainly Foucault's theory of power. So he is also postmodern. Yes, sir.
Two things to add. First, I think you mentioned about कि pluralist जो theory है या फिर जो neo pluralist है, हाल का deformed polarity, it is closer to Marxist. I would say it is closer to relative autonomy school of the Marxist. अगर आप लोग को याद हो ना, तो we read about relative autonomy school, जहाँ पे Marx himself says कि in certain historical circumstances जो power होती है थोड़ी सी diffuse होती है, मतलब instead of one dominant class there are many dominant classes. तो है ना, स्कॉलर याद आ रहा है किसी को? किसी को स्कॉलर याद आ रहा है क्या? रिलेटिव ऑटोनॉमी स्कूल में कौन कौन था और मार्क्स के अलावा? एक दो स्कॉलर थे उसमें.
Ralph Miliband.
ठीक है.
Am I audible?
चल सकते हैं आगे. या यू आर ऑडिबल. राल्फ मिलीबैंड बोला आपने, और कोई है क्या?
Okay. So
एक बार सर ये
moving ahead to the postmodernist.
जो स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है ना, मैक्सपर्सन क्रिटिसिज्म.
थ्योरी ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी में, हाँ ये थ्योरी ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी में ना, ही विल कम विद फुल एनालिसिस.
हाँ इतना पढ़ लीजिए ना, फिर मतलब आगे चल सकते हैं.
ओके. He goes that both elitist and pluralist have missed the substantive purpose of democracy. They have made it instruments. Empower, that is the empowerment of the people. So he also goes for the constructive view of power. He criticized Hal Schumpeter axis because they were status quoist and elitist in nature.
मतलब ये चीज हमें पावर की थ्योरी में भी लिख सकते हैं ना, क्रिटिसिज्म के फॉर्म में.
Yeah.
Development power he gave, right?
Yeah, development concept of power and extractive power.
Yeah.
एक बार आंसर पढ़ ले क्या ऑलिगार्की के बारे में?
हाँ सर, पढ़ लीजिए.
पढ़ लो.
पॉलियार्की
चलो बाद में करते हैं, आगे चलते हैं, बाद में करते हैं, लास्ट में.
पहले फूको का कर लेते हैं.
हाँ कर लीजिए.
फूको बड़ा आदमी है. ठीक है. तो वो पोस्ट मॉडर्निस्ट है, इज पोस्ट मॉडर्निस्ट, पोस्ट स्ट्रक्चरलिस्ट, his theory of power is also called a sociological theory of power or pluralistic view of power. So he goes for a macro to micro view of power. His view of power is macro, because in macro view it is the state-led power, where state enjoy the power. In micro view there are multiple or diffused power. So he give the knowledge. He will tell that knowledge is power. So he uses the idea of Nietzsche, knowledge power connections. He tells that power is everywhere and circulates throughout society like a network of capillary tubes in form of network of social relations. It is multi-directional, not directional. When it comes from everywhere, goes to everywhere. So we are powerful and powerless at the same time. We are powerful because we are the agents of power. Means we are, and we are also powerless because at us power is exercised. It is not a static but dynamic concept because it is flowing like a capillary. Not necessarily coercive because it is also producive power, because it produces identity. And power is product of discourses. He gives the concept of discourses. So discourse is, what is discourse? So discourse is an institutionalized way of speaking and writing about the reality. It determines the limit what can be said and what can be thought. So what is the importance of discourse? So discourse constructs the world in which we live. Even he gives the example of sovereignty. He tells that it is wrong to believe that king is sovereign, and it is also wrong to say that king exercises power and no one exercises power on the king. But we observe king himself is the product of discourses. So if we apply his theory in Indian contexts in ancient times, so we can easily discern that king was also under the ambit of dharma, and king was not above the law, and king was even a product of the society, societal knowledge and discourse, it is. Foucault tells that power is everywhere. Power flows throughout the society like capillaries in the form of network of social relations. Foucault's power notion has been linked to various other organizing principles. In his book Madness and Civilizations, he argued that capitalistic societies ensured that every man would contribute to the society in the productive way, else he would be considered as mad person. If people is not productive, then they are termed as mad, according to capitalistic society's analysis. It ensured, why was that discourse institutionalized? Because it ensured productive life and economic generation. What has the result? So what has been the result? It had made human beings as subjects, just ensuring productive activities. Similarly, in another book, Punished Discipline, he argued that human beings became subjects by changing the discourse of punishment into human treatment. Where he also gives the examples of earlier it was hanging, means capital punishment were there, then it became the reformative justice through imprisonment, etc. So nature of the punishment changed. He provided the role of institutions like a school, college, asylum, by reward mechanism to make sure that people consider it in the favor rather than punishment. Okay. Similarly, in his concept of biopower, he also gives the idea of biopower. He argued that such discipline ensured the control of mind and body. Even we control our mind and body because of the discourses prevailing there, because of the according to the conscience of the society. So he termed it as biopower. Similarly, government ensures process of registration, voting rights to ensure governmentality by state. It ensures legitimacy and provides people as subjects to a state. Hence, the comprehensive dimension of power and its related structure shows that incredulity of meta-narratives versus, as put by Francois Lyotard, means incredulity, a state of inability to believe something. What is this? Let me analyze few more things so that it may be more clear. Foucault's methodology for analysis of power is called Foucault archaeology and genealogy.
एक बार आगे देख लो एक बार फिर करना.
Okay. So in his book Madness and Civilization, he calls his approach as archaeology, genealogy. Genealogy means archaeology, and genealogy means historical study of knowledge systems. So he had studied this and utilized those ideas, methods. In book his Birth of Clinic, he uses the discourse of medical science using human as objects of power. Discourses means they are no real truth, only regimes of truth, narration, story, which is produced, sold, regulated, circulated, etc. Thomas Kuhn had given the idea of paradigm, that is similar kind of things. In his book Discipline and Punish, he tells techniques of power management. He panopticon shaped prisons as reformist Bentham. So Bentham was associated with prison reforms, and he had devised panopticon. So Foucault has analyzed that. So schools, institutions also produce regulations. Biopower means people themselves regulate, self-regulations, even with respect to our personal body parts. All these lead to governmentality. I think somewhere I had studied that Foucault was homosexual-like thing, so he was analyzing those things as he was the first, he was the victim of the society's constructions. Nietzsche had given the idea that genealogy of mortals. He is termed as father of postmodernism by telling that God is dead, knowledge, power, connection, will to power, concept of Superman, means will to power, every human action is focused on achieving power. He was also moral skepticism. He wanted to criticize. He didn't accept that everything is absolute. Even morality is not absolute. It is specific, cultural specific like things with respect to time and space. Noam Chomsky says that Foucault has wildly exaggerated the influence of power in scientific discourse. Means now we observe that Foucault has capitalized on the scientific discourses. And Noam Chomsky tells that Foucault has wildly exaggerated the influence of power in scientific discourse. Means even in scientific discourse, he has used the idea of that power is because of power, this scientific is going like this is going like this type things. Yeah, power is everywhere है, ठीक है. माइक्रोव्यू है, डिस्कोर्सेज है, genealogy है. Power produces reality, power produces identity, it makes man a useful member of society, so that is kind of productive view of power. ठीक है. Means persons are not just the sites of exercising powers, they are also the vehicles of power. So they are powerful as well as powerless. There is technical terms are like this. Matrix of relation is there. Power is a strategy, power is a technique. Where there is a power, there is always a scope of resistance. So he also tells that if there is resistance, so it itself signifies that there is power, or there is a use of power. He tells that there is no fixed source, comes from anywhere, goes everywhere. Productive है, strategy, technique, embodied है, vehicles of power there, if there is power, there is resistance. He gives the technical term of disciplinary power. So we are living in the disciplinary society. Example देखा, schools, asylums, prisons. उन्होंने बोला कि he has also mentioned the discourses and the process of the formulation of discourses. So he gives the that discourses are developed in 3 stages. First is hierarchical observation, second is judgment of normality, third is examination. In hierarchical observation, it is the ability of those who are in charge of to exercise surveillance or gaze. So here they first study means who is the supervisor or the supervising agent. So means first they observe the things, then they bring the judgment of normality. Means they have the ability to determine who is normal, who is abnormal, and punish those who violate. ठीक है. तो the violations can be in 3 dimensions: time dimension, terms of activity, behavior. ठीक है. जब कोई लेट आया तो टाइम में उसको पनिश करेंगे. कोई इफ इज लेट कमर तो विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू टाइमिंग ही कैन बी पनिश्ड. इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्टिविटी, इफ समथिंग डू who is not attentive or who is deviating from the rules. Behavior means he does not behave properly. So these are kind of things in the judgment of normality or abnormality. After that, examination stage comes where observation and judgment of the normality is given, that what is good, what is not. He had capitalized on the panopticon of Bentham. He also terms the society is also like working like a panopticon. He started using, here it is written that in later works he started using the term governmentality to show how states develop governmentality. Means govern and mentality, different it is written. So governmentality among peoples are created through state, so that a state could be able to govern large section of populations, and it is achieved through homogenization, discipline, discourses. Means it is said na, rule of law, constitutional morality. So these are all kinds of discourses of governmentality. That's it. That brings the legitimacy to the state. We can also apply the idea of a nationalism. That's all with respect to theory of power, I think. Yeah, that's all. Macpherson's constructive view, developmental power, extractive power. In his model of democracy, we shall study Gandhi's view of a constructive power through oceanic circles. Gram Swaraj, empowerment of masses, voice to voiceless, power to powerless. Hannah Arendt's constructive power means power is sui generis acting in concert. Power is sui generis is with respect to Foucault. I'm sorry. That's it. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
दृश्यम सर स्क्रीन पे कोहरा छाया हुआ है. Drishyam sir, theory of power has been discussed. If somebody has something to add, so please add or ask.
थ्योरी थी ना, उसमें आई थिंक एक पॉइंट डेमोक्रेसी से भी रिलेटेड था कि आई थिंक एंथनी डाउन और शूम पीटर का था ना, मार्केट मॉडल ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. तो उन्होंने कहा था कि डेमोक्रेसी इज लाइक अ मार्केट वेयर पॉलिटिशियंस आर entrepreneurs and voters are consumers. So only the only role voters can play is the selection of elites. तो आई थिंक एलिटिस्ट थ्योरी जब भी हम बोल रहे हो तो ये एक पॉइंट उसमें ऐड कर सकते हैं.
Yes sir, correct sir, very good point. In theory of democracy means with respect to Robert Dall's polyarchy concept, he had also given the features of polyarchy, where he tells that it has rule of law, it has fundamental rights, freedom of press, freedom to form associations, independent judiciary, separation of power, competitive party system, protection to opposition. So by stating the presence of these things in USA, he tells that USA democracy is polyarchy.
आधी तो फिर डिफॉर्म्ड पोलियार्की पे उन्होंने शिफ्ट कर दिया था ना.
Later when he was challenged, no, so he became neo-pluralist. So he went near to the Marxist theory that actually democracy or power in USA is hinged or rather tilted towards corporate class, but not in totality, just tilted. Macpherson's theory of power means he gives two dimensions of power. Extractive power means coercive power, forcing someone to do even against his wish. That is Weberian type power. Developmental power means power to do that one wants to do. It is linked to creative freedom. So here we shall go to like Amartya Sen's capability approach or achieving functioning. So means he also analyzed the capitalist world and socialist world. He tells that even socialist model of democracy country have single party can be considered democratic subject to the condition there is intra-party democracy, whatever it was related to democracy. Means he tells that in capitalist extractive power is maximum and development power is also maximum, but for capitalist only. For workers, extractive power is 0 to 1% and developmental power is also 0 to 1%. That's it. So two key terms, extractive power, developmental power, and matrix, which he has given.
आगे चले क्या?
Yes, sir.
मैं बताओ. I think legitimation authority बचा है ना सिर्फ अभी.
Should we do it?
हाँ, क्या हो गया?
Legitimacy means exercise of power with the consent of people. Authority plus power. Authority minus power. It is like a chemical equation. Legitimacy doesn't mean legality, because before independence, Indian National Congress was not having legitimacy. Not having legality. Now it had legitimacy. When legitimacy coupled with power, then it becomes authority. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're audible.
Max Weber, in his book Protestant Ethics and Rise of Capitalism, had told that he is also termed as father of modern sociology, theory of bureaucracy. So whenever there will answer on civil service, role of civil services, so we can quote him. He is a capitalist scholar. He is critic of Marx. He is the thinker who told him that monocausal historical materialism kind of thinking. So later Gramsci will rescue it of economic determinism. Like Hobbes, he goes for legalistic approach that only state has authority. He gives the concept of ideal types. He develops some ideal model for everything, and to which we can refer any working model and can judge whether that is working good or nearer or farther from those ideal types. Ideal types are that means conceptual framework. So whenever there will be questions on it in ethics in Weber, we can use his idea of ideal types like this. He tells that authority is the legitimate power. That's done. He gives three types of authority: traditional authority, charismatic, and the third one is the legal or rational. In traditional authority, we observe the customs, traditions. For example, queens in England or in ancient India, Sultanate, Badshah of Mughal Empire, Sultanate in Sultans in Sultanate period, whatever that. Kings in ancient India. Charismatic authority means charisma of the personality, means Gandhi. Yeah. Legal rational authority means power from being power which is vested in the office, means legally sanctioned power. So what are the means which will achieve means to achieve the legitimacy? So earlier we had discussed Foucault's means state is using discourses and to create legitimacy for themselves or by creating governmentality. So how they achieve? So in addition to creation of discourses, there is also fundamental rights, free and fair elections, rule of law, welfareism, freedom of press, Habermas had given the idea of public sphere, ideal speech situation, communicative exchange, and freedom of speech and expression, which was again strengthened by Nancy Fraser's idea of transnational public sphere. So we shall study all these things in theory of democracy in detail. Habermas has also given the idea of legitimation crisis. Since he is a neo-Marxist, he has analyzed the welfare state, which came after the depression, after the Keynesianism, new public deals and Beveridge report. He tells that because of fear of revolution, capitalist countries had society had gone for the welfare policies, but because welfare state is not economically efficient or prudent, so they will be not be able to generate the sufficient resources for the welfare policies, and when the people will not be able to gain from the state, then the state will lose legitimacy. So he told that welfare state will face legitimation crisis. So with respect to legitimacy, if we have to answer anything, so it starts like Max Weber, power plus legitimacy is equal to authority, then means of legitimacy, then the legitimation, then Foucault's idea of governmentality, and we can idea of Habermas, Nancy Fraser, Habermas idea of legitimation crisis. That's it. We can also link the theory of legitimation crisis, or theory of legitimacy with the political obligation. Means why do we obey the state? It is also linked with the legitimacy of the state itself. So different scholars have justified the obligation, political obligations on different grounds.
Real will of Rousseau.
Many one is there. From the Plato it is starting. Plato bolte hai source of virtue. Aristotle tells that it is by man is by nature a political animal. Hobbes means end of evidence is protections, means for the preservation of life. John Locke goes for the LLP, life, liberty and property, and purpose for the creation of commonwealth is the protection of property. Rousseau goes for general will. Hegel goes for march of God. T.H. Green hinder the hindrances. These kinds of things are there. But political obligation will be countered by Karl Marx, instrument of exploitation, anarchist, unnecessary evil. Leo Tolstoy is kingdom of God is within you. कहाँ है वो? उनको म्यूट करता. Okay. Yeah, in counter to political obligations, Karl Marx idea of instrument of exploitation, anarchist idea of unnecessary evil. Leo Tolstoy tells that kingdom of God is within you. Gandhi's idea that the state is not compatible with the principles of non-violence. He tells it as a soulless machine. And Hannah Arendt tells that the state is symbol of violence. Another concept is that difference. What is the difference between legitimacy and hegemony? 2-3 points. Both are the facets of power. Means legitimacy is also a facet of power, which we study through Foucault's idea of governmentality, and hegemony is facet of power, which we study through Gramsci's idea of hegemony, the manufacturing consent. But one belongs to liberal discourse, another belongs to Marxist discourse. So legitimacy is with respect to Marxist discourse. What I did it. The liberal discourse. Hegemony with the Marxist discourse. According to liberal scholars, a state represents authority which is legitimate. बोलते हैं कि T.H. Green tells that will not force is the basis of a state. So that statement itself posits the legitimacy. Hegemony as an idea given by Gramsci means he called a so-called legitimacy is manufactured consent. Hegemony represents that states rule by manufacturing consent. A site for manufacturing consent is civil society. So when consent fails, then coercion is used. So here we see when legitimation crisis started, then they start using force coercion method. Althusser has also mentioned about two types of apparatuses in his idea of interpellation, ideological and coercive, just like Gramsci. So we see that for liberal scholars, a state continues because there is a consent of people. But Marxist tells continuation depends upon the ability to manufacture consent. In conclusion, Habermas will be there. Whenever there is question on legitimation, Habermas will be there. So Habermas had actually studied the welfare states working, and his theory of legitimation crisis is also with respect to working of the welfare state. In global governance institution in international relations, there is democratic deficit given by David Held or Joseph Stiglitz. So where we can also paraphrase legitimation crisis idea in WTO, IMF, World Bank, etc. and United Nations Security Council, etc. But not naming Habermas.
Can you elaborate on concept of Foucault's governability?
Actually, Foucault's governmentality, it is governability, no, it is governmentality. Means he creates a state creates a mentality which helps among the people, which helps a state maintain its rule. So how do they create it? By creating discourses, by offering like idea like fundamental rights, rule of law, etc. So that is a state governmentality used by a state. Could I make it clear?
Yes, yes.
Anything else to be added from anybody? Or should we stop the recording? I think the theory of power will again reverberate in theory of democracy. Drishyam sir?
हाँ सर, यस सर, बोलिए.
Yeah, theory of power has been completed.
Okay.
So if it's the any value addition, then it
तो
should be
मैं
other.
रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप कर लूँ या फिर?
Yeah, that's what is needed.
हाँ, एक वैलिडेशन हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं ना, थोड़ी देर पहले जैसे मैंने इग्नो वाला खोला था ना, तो इफ somebody can share the screen and open इग्नो का PDF, तो 5-10 मिनट के we can discuss. करना है क्या बताओ, ऐसे छोड़ दो.
शॉर्ट में हो सकता है तो आप समराइज करके मैं करूँ क्या विदाउट शेयरिंग स्क्रीन, बट दैट्स नॉट देयर.
खोलना पड़ेगा ना, मतलब इग्नो का PDF देखो, थियोरी ऑफ पावर के बारे में कुछ ना कुछ तो मिल जाएगा. एक सेकंड में ढूंढ रहा हूँ, गूगल कर लीजिए, बस रैंडम मिल जाता है यार वो तो. देखो 4 दिख रहे हैं इसमें, ब्लॉक, पावर, अथॉरिटी, लेजिटिमेसी का मिल गया मेरे 2020 का एक है. लेट मी ओपन इट. मैं लिंक शेयर करता हूँ, कोई स्क्रीन शेयर कर सकता है क्या? टैबलेट वाले, आईपैड वाले कोई है, लैपटॉप वाले, प्लीज कर दो शेयर, स्क्रीन शेयर.
हाँ हाँ, मैं कर देता हूँ, भेजिए आप.
कर दो. मैंने एक लिंक दे दिया, देखो पावर का,
एक मिनट.
चैनल पे डाला है मैंने. आई एम नॉट श्योर कि वो सही है कि गलत है, बट आई थिंक होना चाहिए उसमें कंटेंट.
जस्ट अ मिनट. यस यस, थ्योरी ऑफ पावर कर देता हूँ मैं स्क्रीन शेयर. दिख रहा है स्क्रीन?
यस सर।
जी। दशरथ सर, इसको देखिए।
Okay. So here it is organized like na power, meaning of the power, distinction between power and related themes, implication of power, liberal democratic theory of power, Marxian theory of power, Michael Foucault on powers. What is authority? Classification of authority. दिख गया. Distinction between concepts of power and authority, implications of authority. ठीक है. मीनिंग द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पावर तो हमने देखा, स्टीवन ल्यूक्स का देखा, इन विच ही हैज गिवन 3 टाइप्स. इसमें तो ढेर सारा है.
हाँ बस देख लो यार, जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट कीवर्ड या कुछ मिल रहा है ना, मेजर चीज, सब लोग स्क्रॉल कर लो, एक काम कर लो, सब लोग ओपन करो पीडीएफ, एंड अगर उसमें से कुछ भी अच्छी लाइन मिल रही है जो इंटरेस्टिंग लग रही है तो बस उतना बोल दो.
Yeah, it is written that force, idea of force means is different from power. It is the force is the most brutal manifestation of power. So that is only one of the manifestation of power, and that is most brutal. Techniques involved in physical force are restraint, coercion, threat, intimidation, blackmail, terrorism, and military domination. So power can be called latent force, while force is manifest power. मैंने जो दिख रहा है वो force है, और जो latent है वो power है. Latent force and manifest power. If force stands on one extreme, influence stands on the other ends. It represents the sublimation of power. Wow, beautiful, subtle. एकदम पता भी नहीं चला. It may be due to social prestige, intellectual and spiritual eminence, high morality and the likes. So while influence is persuasive, power is coercive. Very good thing. We also study in GS4. Coming to the notion of authority, it implies moralization and legitimization of power. So here we reckon equation, legitimacy of power and legitimacy plus power is authority. It involves moralization and legitimization of power through legal or traditional sanctions. So it also have means state enacted laws or societal norms offer the legitimacy. It is essentially the institutional code within which Speak control. Control is a theme related to power, also has its own distinct feature, different from power. It's more comprehensive and less concentrated than power. Control could be of different nature, like legislative control, executive control, judicial, financial, and like. Power is more intense with respect to control.
एक और अच्छी लगी एक लाइन, power cannot be merely political or economic. It is broadly a social phenomena.
Yeah, in international relation, military power, political power, economic power, and with soft power. So these are the dimensions can be. Michael Foucault we had studied, authority in Max Weber we had studied, rational, legal, traditional, charismatic. That's good.
एक और चीज है, इन पावर थ्योरी सबसे अर्लीस्ट अगर देखना हो ना, तो जो हॉब्स वाला जो लिवाइथन बुक था ना, इसमें बोलता है ना कि मैन डिजायर्स पावर आफ्टर पावर, जो रूट कॉज है कंपटीशन का, पावर सीकिंग नेचर ऑफ मैन जो एक्सप्लोर करता है ना वो.
यस.
फिर जैसे हीगल ने एब्सोल्यूट फॉरेन अथॉरिटी बनाई थी, डिसरिगार्डिंग ऑल द एथिक्स वगैरह सब कुछ. फिर एक और चीज है, ये प्रोफेसर मार्गेंथो who says politics is nothing but a struggle for power. वही वाले हैं ना मार्गेंथो जो आईआर वाले हैं.
या फिर पावर पे भी तो है, हॉब्स बोलते हैं कि देयर इज एंडलेस डिजायर ऑफ पावर इन मैन व्हिच एंड्स ओनली विद हिज डेथ.
एक और लाइन अच्छी थी यहाँ पे कि पावर थ्योरी फाउंड इट्स कॉन्क्रीट मैनिफेस्टेशन व्हेन द इटालियन डिक्टेटर बेनिटो मुसोलिनी डिक्लेयर्ड नथिंग अगेंस्ट द स्टेट, नथिंग अबाउट इट, गिविंग बर्थ टू आइडियोलॉजी ऑफ फैसिज्म. तो मतलब मुसोलिनी भी डाल सकते हैं पावर वाले में. मार्गेंथो, मुसोलिनी, हॉब्स देखा अपन ने, हीगल देखा.
हेगल वाला आइडिया कैसे ऐड हुआ बताएं, एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए।
किसका किसका? सॉरी, आवाज नहीं आया।
हेगल्स कनेक्शन विद हेगल का पावर से कनेक्शन जैसे आपने बताया,
वही हेगल लेजिटिमाइज कर रहा है ना, कितनी भी पावर ले लो स्टेट को, मतलब कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ पावर कर रहा है ना, वो जो बोलता है ना स्टेट इज मार्च ऑफ गॉड ऑन अर्थ, तो मतलब अनलिमिटेड पावर दे रहा है ना, जस्ट लाइक हॉब्स, स्टेट एब्सोल्यूटिज्म है वो।
yeah, so that
हाँ,
is also a macro view of power. This is called macro view, which Foucault leads to the micro view at the individual level.
और पॉइंट यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है कि अभी तक हमने जो देखा पावर वाज ओनली द पॉलिटिकल सेंस, पर हम जैसे बुद्ध या गांधी को देखते हैं तो वो पावर ऑफ थॉट या आइडियोलॉजी टू द वर्ल्ड देते हैं।
एंड एक और मार्क्सिस्ट व्यू पॉइंट दिया हुआ है यहाँ पे पावर का, जो वही व्यू पॉइंट है, मतलब कि मार्क्स
दे दे खाला।
सॉरी, हेलो,
Oh, nothing was there. Aberration किन्हीं का माइक ऑन रह गया।
अच्छा ठीक है। हाँ, तो मतलब मार्क्सियन थियरी अगर पावर का देखा ना, तो उसमें वही है कि ऑल रिलेशन जो भी होते हैं दे आर रिलेशंस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन। कम्युनिस्ट मैनिफेस्टो बुक में बोलते हैं कि जो भी पॉलिटिकल पावर होती है इट इज मियरली ऑर्गेनाइज्ड फॉर्म ऑफ वन क्लास ऑपरेसिंग अनदर। वो नहीं बोलते स्टेट इज इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ बुर्जुआज क्लास। तो ऐसे मतलब पावर वही है बेसिकली, एक्सप्लॉयटेशन। पावर इज एक्सप्लॉयटेशन एज फार एज मार्क्स इज कंसर्न। फिर जो नीचे फोकू का है वो देखा अपन ने, क्लासिफिकेशन अथॉरिटी मैक्स वेबर का, वो भी काफी इलेबोरेटली देख लिया था अपन ने, आई थिंक सफिशिएंट है उतना। फिर डिस्टिंक्शन बिटवीन पावर एंड अथॉरिटी, मॉन्टेस्क्यूज अल्टरनेट। हाँ बोलो।
नहीं कुछ नहीं, बस मैं पूछ रहा था कि शुड वी कंक्लूड दिस नाउ।
एक सेकंड बस, मेरे को एक मिला है यहाँ पे, मॉन्टेस्क्यूज अल्टरनेट व्यूज ऑफ लेजिटिमेसी। देखा किसी ने? ही रिजेक्टेड द इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ लेजिटिमेशन विच वाज एस्पाउस्ड बाय कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअलिस्ट। उनका बुक का नाम है द स्पिरिट ऑफ लॉज। उन्होंने अल्टरनेटिव फॉर्म्स ऑफ लेजिटिमेसी दिया था।
वेरी यूजफुल सर, यूनिक आइडिया।
ये बेसिकली इसमें है, पेज नंबर 19 पे देखना, पेज नंबर 15 पीडीएफ का खोलना जरा एक बार। मतलब वो क्रिटिक दे रहा है कॉन्ट्रैक्टेरियंस का। कोई तो प्लीज पढ़ लो।
मैं पढ़ देता हूँ।
नहीं मतलब मन में।
अल्टरनेट व्यू।
हाँ पढ़ लो, ठीक, कोई
अच्छा
इशू नहीं।
ठीक, ठीक है मैं पढ़ देता हूँ कि रिजेक्टिंग द इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ लेजिटिमेशन espoused by the contractualist Montesquieu in his work The Spirit of Laws 1748 counterpoised alternative forms of legitimacy. This alternative form intended to curtail the arbitrariness of an individualist free will, placing the exercise of authority within the social context. Wow. So power, authority, and legitimacy. Montesquieu included in his framework a socially responsible role for the state by including elements of social reforms, constitutionalism, and safeguard of basic civil liberties. All of these were seen as contributing towards or constituting the essence of legitimate authority. अरे वाह.
अब मतलब समझा दो जो भी समझ आया.
तो ये कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअलिस्ट के अपोज में गए जो ये मोंटेस्क्यू साहब थे, और इन्होंने इनका इंटेंट था आर्बिट्रेरीनेस जो इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक प्रपोज कर रहे थे उसको कर्टेल करने का सोशल कंटेक्स्ट में. तो इसने अपने फ्रेमवर्क में रोल दिया माइक बंद था क्या?
नहीं सुनाई दिया पूरा.
आई थिंक दिस इज मोर रिलेटेड विद गवर्नमेंटालिटी जो बताई थी ना फुको ने, उससे थोड़ा सा कहीं ना कहीं लिंक हो रहा है.
ठीक है चलो, आई थिंक वी शुड वाइंड अप. मैं स्टॉप कर दूं क्या रिकॉर्डिंग, या किसी को कुछ ऐड करना है? बहुत कुछ है इसमें तो वैसे दिया हुआ. ओके ऑल राइट, थैंक यू गाइस. मैं स्टॉप करता हूँ रिकॉर्डिंग.